Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Monday morning sidewalk. It's a beautiful Monday here in North Texas. We've got fall weather closing in on us, and that means this is the last day of summer, which is my favorite season, summer. So we're headed into a less favorable time as far as I'm concerned, but I'm sure we can make the best of it here when it comes to fly fishing in the entire state of Texas. If you follow along, you'll know that there's a lot of stories in the hopper. I've talked about them earlier on in the month, and we'll be spending the rest of this month just coming at you rapid fire with those stories. I just want to cut straight to that, and then we'll get back to telling you what I'm seeing as far as around the state of Texas and fly fishing. The stories coming up are many and varied. We've got a story about guide services from Steve Hollensed, and the fall we get some good striper action on Lake Texoma, and he'll be definitely giving us some information on that, and we're going to reprint that on Texas Flycaster this week. Also, the adventures of Chano continue. That's an interesting story that I've been writing and enjoying, and I hope you enjoy it too as far as my paid subscribers go. Another one that's coming out is a story that kind of developed 1 week ago, and that was a hot spot very close to Houston on the Jetties, and the fish was Jack Crevalle. Very, very interesting stuff, and I can only say if you're in the Houston area, you need to tune into that one and hit it as soon as you can, because this is the time of year that you can actually reach these fish. You don't need a boat or anything like that. Another story I've got is a feature kind of story, kind of off topic. It's something that's brought to my attention when I was in Houston, and that is in Texas we have an abundance of wild grapes. There's actually several varieties. Two of the varieties that I've always thought were the same are actually different. The Mustang grape, which is really widespread, and then there's a Muscdine grape. So I'm doing a story on that, and it'll have some links over to more information on that. Very interesting. If you're into making grape jelly or maybe making wine or whatever. A good story. I think that not a lot of people know about the difference between these grapes, or even knew that they were different. I'm one of those people. So keep that in mind. That story will be coming out this week as well. These stories, there's so many of them, they'll probably be spread out over the rest of the month actually. So we'll see how that turns out. Another thing that's going on is I still got the story on the Pecos River from my trip to New Mexico a couple weeks ago now. I can't believe time just flies by, and so that story's been written, and it's just waiting for the right time to come out. And as far as stories go, we've got a kind of an incentive for those of you who want to read the premium content. If you read, the words on this post, the Monday Morning Sidewalk post, you'll learn more about that. Now let's go on and talk about the fly fishing opportunities in Texas right now. I learn a lot just by looking at guides, postings on Facebook. I've told you that in weeks past, and I'll just repeat it once again, that as misguided as the idea of posting on Facebook is, it's still what's being used primarily now by guides because it's so easy to use, and what I'm seeing is still Eric Glass down in South Texas catching snook consistently and doing quite well with that. When you get to other guides, some of them are getting rained out further up the coast and have had some time off, and of course, as I said before, a lot of them shift from fishing to hunting, which is a great idea here in Texas. It's just such a bountiful state. Locally, as far as guiding goes for me, it's pretty much wrapped up. We had an interesting phenomenon. I'm still trying to get my mind wrapped around it and maybe get some scientists onto it to see exactly what happened on Lake Ray Roberts this summer. Generally, I have plenty of carp to fish for all the way into November. My last catch of carp last year was November 5th. I put these things on a calendar, and so I know they're there, and I know exactly what happened. It's kind of my way of doing a really specific diary of what goes on. So, like it or not, we've got some kind of thing going on, probably a lack of oxygen in the water on Ray Roberts. And that, if you look around at other folks, there's nobody catching any fish on Ray Roberts right now, any carp. And as we head into fall, of course, we're looking at that last feed by bass before they go deep for the winter. Today is the last day of summer. It's a very cool and dry day here in North Texas, and of course that gets you thinking about fall. And here in North Texas, when we think about fall, we think about, a lot of guys think about stocked trout. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department stocks every year, and sooner or later, I think in the next 60 days, their stocking schedule will come out. However, if you're just a little resourceful and look at the old schedules, I always post them on here, but if you look at the old schedules, you'll see that it doesn't vary a whole lot from year to year, so you can do the math, look at your calendar, and know exactly what's going on when it comes to that kind of stuff. What I'm going to be doing is really focusing some more energy in the wintertime fishing here, the opportunities here in North Texas, and that doesn't mean staying in Texas. That actually means going to Oklahoma. So we'll be going to Oklahoma a few times, and doing some stories from Oklahoma on the Blue River and on Beaver's Bend, and try to make it more of a regular thing, like maybe each place twice a month or once a month on each place, starting when it cools down. For me, when it comes to fishing for trout, even though they're stockers, some of them are really a nice fish, and some of them have wintered over, summered over, and whatever, and they've aged nicely. So it's really becoming more of a realistic type fishery, not the Blue River, but actually Broken Bow and Beaver's Bend. So Blue River doesn't hold over. But anyway, that's going to be fun. Starting in January, I'm going to be booking trips in Broken Bow, Beaver's Bend, and we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a situation where I'm based up there for a little while, just to see how people enjoy that, how many trips I can get on the books and things like that. And that'll be after the rush of working with my wife and her business at Cimarrona.com and Cimarrona Hat Company to get through the holiday rush and all that. And then in January, the Airstream trailer will be based somewhere in Oklahoma. So look forward to that. It'll be a lot more stories, kind of with a focus on the Airstream trailer. You can read some of the stories and technical information about the Airstream trailer on another website I have, another blog type website. It's called AirstreamDiary.com. It's been around for several years, but it's been pretty dormant compared to Texas Flycaster. So that's pretty much as quick as I can put it, and as concise as I can make it about what's going on here. The saltwater is really just happening now, and we've had some calm days with blue water enclosed and things like that. I got photographs from a friend of mine who lives in Houston, baby tarpon he caught down on Port O'Connor off the Jetties. So I think somehow, and I've never done this, but I'm going to figure this out, how he accessed the Jetties on foot, not by boat, at Port O'Connor. And that's something I'm going to make happen, and maybe when things slow down, or if I get a spare few days, go down there and scope that out and check it out and see how it goes. I'm also I love to get photographs from you guys, and even more, I like to get words on things like buffalo being caught in the rivers here, further south here in Texas. So send those photos. I'll put them on the Instagram on the side of the page. You'll notice on the website it's changing a whole lot now, and these are changes for the better. And I just feel really strongly that you guys will enjoy the website even more as time goes on. That's my goal. And stick with me, and we'll just see how everything goes. I got one little tip to show you guys. Not a news tip, a tip. And let me just kind of zoom in the camera on this, and we'll bring the camera in. I'll show you how this works. Okay guys, what this is a tip that helps with your casting, and this is something I learned from Lefty Kreh like last year. Just a little accessory, if you will, that we can get these readily and they don't cost you anything. I'll be giving away a bunch actually of these guys at the Green Fest next Saturday up by Lake Ray Roberts. And what it is you take one of these guys. If you're having trouble with your casting, if you're getting pain or any kind of tennis elbow back in here, you can alleviate that really simply by getting one part of your casting under control, and that is not breaking your wrist so much when you cast. If you keep your wrist stiff to where you have that butt of that rod against your wrist like that, and you're making your casting motion, what you'll find is that it takes all these small muscle groups out of the play of the cast and concentrates your power and your strength in the larger muscle groups. This is what Lefty showed me, and what it did was I was having a problem with tennis elbow, and sure enough he showed me how this works. And then I didn't need it after a while because I got into the habit of feeling that rod butt right there. But that is one way to give you more power and more endurance when it comes to casting a bigger rod or even a small rod all day long, is to keep from breaking that wrist. Just put that right there like that. Leave it on there as long as you need it. You know, maybe just a few casts will straighten you out for the day. But wear these on the water. There's those rubber band type things. If you don't have one, let me know and I'll send you one. And it's a great little casting accessory, so to speak. It's more functional than actually form. So keep that in mind when it comes to casting. Always look for Lefty Kreh's videos wherever you might find them. And if you are debating on what kind of casting videos and you know, trying to get into learning how to cast for the first time, be sure and check out the Lefty Kreh videos.